Hey everyone, welcome back to the best U.S. Mint news channel on YouTube. I'm Son-of-a-Silver-Stacker. Today's date is June 23rd, 2024. And in this video, we're talking about the last and final release of the American Innovation Uncirculated Dollars. It's going to be featuring the state of Missouri and George Carver, or George Washington Carver, as you probably know him. But before any of that, if you're new here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're trying to get to a bazillion subs. Isn't that a big number? Also, we're always live and never edited. So if you hear me make a mistake, oof, right? All right, here we go. This is where gold ended the week. 23.32.72. 23.33.72. I said that right. Silver at 29.74. Platinum at 1,780. And palladium at 989 even Steven. And as you can see here, these folks over here, J Bullion, have, well, the American Silver Eagle on sale with only $6.49 over spot. I think Money Metals is still at $8.59. All right, next stop, the bullion sales at the United States Mint. And this week, starting today, is the last and final week of, yeah, that's right, sales numbers for June. So after this week, we're going to have July numbers, and we probably won't have June numbers until probably the first week in July, and I would expect them to be running really heavy duty on the sales. But if we don't, I'm going to scratch my head and wonder why, because we know that when prices are going up for precious metals, people tend to buy those precious metal bullion coins. Now let's keep on keeping on. Here we are. We find ourselves on the U.S. Mint's product schedule, and we are looking right here at July 18, 2024. That's the American Innovation $1 coin in rolls and bags from the state of Missouri. There's 4 product options right there, and I'll show you what's going on with the stated product limit. So here we are, and I'm not going to show you any one specific product, but they are $34.50 for the roll and $117.50 for the bags. And these prices have not gone up since 2018, since this program started. Isn't that remarkable? So isn't that amazing that the Mint has been able to keep the costs down for this particular program while all the other costs for different products at the Mint are going up? And I don't want to jinx it. Hopefully the Mint will keep these prices at these levels that we're seeing now. And also, what else is stated the same price? Yeah, those Kennedy half dollars. Now let's get to it. Now the mintage limit on the Philadelphia rolls, 8,400. The Denver rolls at 73.50, and the bags from Philadelphia at 31.50, and the bags from Denver at 29.50. Now across all product options, the household order limit is 10. Okay, so there it is. And this is the design we'll be looking at, and it does have that state mentioned right there. Looks like some kind of graduated cylinder or something of that nature. I know somebody's going to know what that means. It's incredible. And there's some peanuts there at the bottom. Now it says here, George Washington Carver was born into slavery in Diamond, Missouri. He went on to become the agricultural scientist who helped save the South's agrarian economy. Following the abolition of slavery, many formerly enslaved people became small-scale farmers, but struggled to thrive on nutrient-depleted land due to single crop overuse, like cotton and tobacco. Dr. Carver knew that his lessons on crop rotation and practical farming methods, where he got his education, well, he knew that that would help if he could reach farmers outside of his classrooms at Tuskegee University. And he was with Booker T. Washington at that school. Now, in 1906, Dr. Carver designed and built an agricultural school and laboratory on wheels known as the Jessup wagon. The wagon visited farming communities throughout the South to provide demonstrations and distribute simple but informative pamphlets to those who needed them most. These efforts helped many small farmers improve their yields, earn profits, and save their livelihoods with soil-enriching crops like peanut, all right, which Dr. Carver used to develop more than 300 products and uses. His research and outreach not only improved the lives of individual American farmers, but changed Southern agriculture forever. Here we go. United States Mint Innovation $1 coin program is a multi-year series honoring innovators with $1 coins from each state, District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, Guam, and American Samoa, and U.S. Virgin Islands and Mariana Islands. There it is. So this program is actually one of the best programs I think the United States Mint has actually implemented, even better than the Beautiful Quarters and better than the state quarter program, because obviously it's a state quarter program in a way, but also it is honoring the innovators from each one of those states. It's quite remarkable. And it's basically, this coin collection or program is a quilt of all the American effort that's put together to make this country great. And I think that it should be one of the most celebrated sets. Now, it started in 2018 and goes through 2022. Had a bit of a rough start. All right, but it is gaining traction and gaining momentum with collectors, as I can show you here. at the end of the video here, we're going to be looking at eBay and some of the sales. And it's remarkable how often these coins are sold on eBay. Now, it says here, the Missouri American Innovation $1 coin verse. That's the tail right there. Boom, right there. I don't know why I showed that one. That's all right. Depiction of George Washington Carver gently smiling while examining a sample of his work in his laboratory. The leaves, blossoms, and fruits of a peanut plant weave between the scientific equipment. Inscriptions include United States of America, Missouri, and George Washington Carver. The obverse head's design features a dramatic representation of the Statue of Liberty in profile, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and $1. It also includes a privy mark of a stylized gear representing modern industry and innovation. And there is the privy mark right there. I'm going to try and hover over that. I guess there we go. And it's a different privy mark every single year. So it will change going forward every single, well, it has been different from 2018 through 2032. It's always different every single year. And it's going to be cool to see the stylized gear because they seem to get more ornamented and have more teeth on those gears as time progresses. It's pretty incredible. Let's see the specs here. It's a $1 coin at 6% zinc, 3.5% manganese, 2% nickel, and the remaining balance is copper. So you got 5.5 plus 6, you got 11.5%, and the remaining is copper. It's 8.1 grams. The diameter is 1.043 inches. That's 26.49 millimeters. Has a lettered edge, minted in Philadelphia and Denver, and it has that stylized gear. So let's keep on finding out a little bit more about George Washington Carver. Now, he was born in 1864, all right, and they don't know exactly when, but they know when he passed. He actually passed at the Tuskegee Institute over there. He actually fell down the stairs in his house, and that was really sad for a gentleman who had done so much for so many people. So it says here he was born during the Civil War. He's an American agricultural scientist and inventor who promoted alternative crops to cotton and methods to prevent soil depletion. He was one of the most prominent black scientists of the early 20th century. He was a professor at Tuskegee Institute, and he developed techniques to improve types of soils depleted by repeated plantings of cotton. All right, so let's keep on keeping on. Here's a little bit more about what's going on in his early years. Now, he was born into slavery in Diamond Grove, now Diamond Newton County, Missouri, near Crystal Palace, sometime in the early 1860s. Well, we got 1864, right? The date of his birth is uncertain and was not known to Carver because it was before slavery was abolished in Missouri, which occurred in January of 1865. During the American Civil War, his enslaver, Moses Carver, was a German-American immigrant who had purchased George's parents, Mary and Giles, from William P. McGinnis on October 9, 1855 for $700. In 2023 dollars, that'd be $18,133. Now, Giles died before George was born, and when he was a week old, his sister and his mother were kidnapped by night raiders from Arkansas. What? Yeah, that's wild. George's brother, James, was rushed to safety from the kidnappers. Now, the kidnappers sold the trio in Kentucky. Moses Carver hired a gentleman named John Bentley to find them, but he only found the infant George. Moses negotiated with raiders to gain the boy's return and rewarded Bentley. Now, after slavery was abolished in 1865, Moses Carver and his wife Susan raised George and his older brother James as their own children. Now, they encouraged George to continue his intellectual pursuits, and his Aunt Susan taught him the basics of reading and writing. Now, because black people were not allowed in public schools in Diamond Grove, he actually decided to go to a school for black children 10 miles south in Neosho. When he reached the town, he found the school closed for the night. He slept in a nearby barn. By his own account, the next morning he met a kind woman, Mariah Watkins, from whom he wished to rent a room. When he identified himself as Carver's George, as he had done his whole life, she replied from now on his name was George Carver, not Carver's George, right? George liked Mariah Watkins and her words, "You must learn all you can, then go back out into the world and give your learning back to the people." And that made a great impression on him. At the age of 13, he wanted to attend an academy there. He moved to the home of another foster family in Fort Scott, Kansas. After witnessing the killing of a black man by a group of white people, Carver left the city. Yeah, I would too. He attended a series of schools before earning his diploma at Minneapolis High School in Minneapolis, Kansas. During the time spent in Minneapolis, there were another George Washington Carver in town, which caused confusion over receiving mail. George Carver chose a middle initial at random and began requesting letters to him to be sent addressed to George W. Carver. Someone asked him if the W stood for Washington, and Carver grinned and said, "Why not?" However, he never used Washington as his middle name and signed his name either as George W. Carver or simply George Carver. And there is some, I guess, rumors that the gentleman that he worked with at the Tuskegee Institute, all right, well, he took the name from him as well, all right. That was Booker Washington, I think is Booker T. Washington, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So let's keep on keeping on. Now, we're going to talk about George Washington Carver and Booker T. Washington right here, because from the 1951 to 1954, they had a coin. It was a commemorative coin. And this is when the United States made half dollars in 90% silver. And why can't we still have half dollars in 90% silver, particularly or especially the commemorative coins? Yeah, I don't know. But I think we need to get back to that. Let's get back to our history. It says here, background, 1951 to 1954, the U.S. Mint produced George Washington Carver Booker T. Washington half dollars. It commemorated the lives of George Washington Carver, an agricultural scientist and educator, and Booker T. Washington, founder of the Tuskegee Institute. The coin was the last commemorative coin made by the Mint until the modern commemorative coin program began in 1982, which still, that's right, it was George Washington, all right, but also it was also silver, unlike the commemoratives this day. Kind of interesting, isn't it? I'll leave a link in the description for this. Now let's look at the sales for these American Innovation coins. It's really remarkable. And I just have a basic search here. Ended recently, American Innovation dollar. Look at this is the sold listings. $24.95 American Innovation 4-coin set. And I cannot wait for the actual proof set that comes out, about 12 days later. That's going to be amazing. That's going to be something special. Now let's get back to the sales. Look at $8 with $4.50 shipping for the American Innovation first patent. That's awesome. Look at this, 1849 P&D, and they don't even, well, it looks like they sell the P&D, Ohio, Louisiana, Indiana, Mississippi, so they don't sell the A and B positions. Otherwise, it would be, I think, 16 coins, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4, right there, 4 times, it's A, that's P&D, yeah. That's amazing. 1218, 275, 1688. That's a really remarkable coin right there. Very highly sought after. That's the Massachusetts Innovation telephone, Thomas Edison. And look at that one, 25 coin roll for Denver or Delaware, $45. Remember, $34.50. They haven't changed the price ever. P&D American Innovation intro dollar. That's the inaugural set of 2 rolls, $78.50. There you go. Pretty amazing. And if you don't know, well, you should do a little bit of research and find out a little bit more about that. There it is. American Innovation, September Clark, $5.85. Here we go. Annex, American Innovation. And that's a 2018 San Francisco. Yeah, look at this. We're still in June 22. That was just yesterday. So clearly we're seeing a lot of sales for these coins. And I'm really happy about that. This set is really the American quilt. It's all of our story. And because of that, I think that each and every single one of us should be proud of this set, because really this is what sets America apart from any other country, is our innovative spirit, I think. And that's really something, isn't it? Now, let's go to those plus ones. And this is from George Washington Carver. I believe he did say this is about life. It says here, how far you go in life depends on your being tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and the tolerant of the weak and strong. What? Because someday in your life you will have been all of these. Yeah, that's right. Now let's go here to 99.9 KOI Coin News Radio. This is Metallica, Wherever I May Roam. Yeah, that's what he said right there, didn't he? Wherever he goes, he's the guy. Now, with that said, I want to thank you all for coming. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you hear and see, sub the channel. It is free, absolutely. And, yeah, that's it. Oh, if you want to take it to the next level, you can always become a member. It's $1.99 a month, and I do believe that I'm going live this morning at some time. So hopefully we'll see you there this morning. Stacker out.